Sean,
Jake!
all right?
Hey, hi! Yeah, what the... Looks like we're in Mortal Kombat.
Hey!
Hi! Welcome to The Void. I'm today with Jake, and we're gonna be talking about Mortal Kombat. Specifically, our top 20 Mortal Kombat characters.
There's a lot of them.
There is a crazy amount of characters. So yeah, we decided, Jake, you let me know that this year is the 30th anniversary to Mortal Kombat.
Yes,
So
sir. Came out back in October of 1992.
Jesus Christ, I was 3 when this came out.
It was probably about that.
This game is the reason why there's ratings for video games, why there's conversation about violence in video games in general. This was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Lieb. I want to call him Joe Lieberstein.
Joe Lieberstein.
Joe Lieberman. Like, really made a hard case to Congress or Senate or whoever. Just like, these are destroying our kids.
The fact is that a new generation of video games crosses that line, containing the most horrible depictions of graphic violence and sex, including particularly violence against women. Like the Grinch who stole Christmas, these violent video games threaten to rob this particular holiday season of a spirit of goodwill.
And he kicks out, and he lives to fight again.
All right, well, I guess we'll just jump right into it then.
Cool, man.
All right, so let's start with okay, so yeah.
Do you want to do like we're back? Did we cut away? Oh, to the screen.
Yeah.
But now we're back.
No, we're back.
Okay.
Sure.
Is it staying in?
Yeah.
Perfect. So it was determined that I was going to start, and of my 20 top Mortal Kombat characters, I'm starting with Baraka. But Baraka is the Tarkata is his race, and he has crazy forearm blades inspired by... They said it was inspired by Wolverine, but
Oh, cool.
And he's got the crazy teeth,
Which were fingernails from a costume.
What they did in the creation of Baraka is they found a Nosferatu mask at Halloween store. And kind of similar to the Michael Myers mask being a Shatner mask that they, like rehabbed and repainted. They repainted it and put a bunch of fake fingernails for teeth, painted them silver.
Yeah. Shatner's what they use for, what's his face?
Michael Myers for Halloween.
Also in Street Fighter for, the guy with claws.
Wait, Vega?
Yeah. That was Vega's mask too, right?
That's a perfect...
Yeah. That was...
Hey, cut to that.
I leered at him with the mask, and then I yanked it off.
Well, my 20 is Aaron Black.
I'm flattered.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know. We're from the cowboy turf. We're from the whole Western area, so seeing a little representation was cool. I just can't stand that fucking mask he's got. Yeah, it looks like he's going paintballing. I'm just like, you son of a bitch. Other than that, it was all right. But going back to Vega though, it's like, you're bringing knives to the street fighting thing. It's like, what the fuck?
He can climb on his stage.
Yeah, he's got guns though.
Who's
Aaron,
allowing this?
That's why he's on my 20. It's like in terms of a Mortal Kombat, I feel like only 2 moves from Aaron Black would be like, well, you finished him.
Well, no, you nailed it, because with Vega, it's a street fight. You're bringing fucking blades.
I want to use my claw.
Jesus, you! You want to fight with this claw?
See?
You got Aaron Black just bringing guns.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got others. We've got Stryker and some other characters that just bring guns to a Mortal Kombat.
Trained for years. I'm a master.
Finish him!
So 19, I'm going to Mortal Kombat X, and I'm going to give a shout out to Takeda Takahashi.
Is this another test?
Okay, all right. I actually...
You're like, who the fuck's that?
I literally, my brain went, Bo Right Show, right? I was who is Takeda Takahashi? Isn't he one of the programmers? What happened?
Oh, well. But Takeda was honestly my favorite of the Combat Kids, is what they call them. Where it's... Because Mortal Kombat X did a time shift. It was 20 years forward.
Right.
Where it's Johnny Cage's kid, Cassie.
Yeah.
And it was just all the younger generation. Jackie Briggs was Jax's daughter. Takeda was the son of Kenshi. And Kenshi, I guess, was just living the rockstar life and dipped him off on Scorpion. So he was trained by Scorpion.
Oh, okay.
And his weapon was they're like these crazy cable whips with blades on them.
What the fuck, dude?
He was really fun. He was like really the combat kid that kind of, I feel like, had the most work. So he was Shiraryu, like under Scorpion. And fun enough, because I know you love some trivia, and that's what I'm good for.
Go for it.
So when they were developing Takeda, he was going to be Spider, Scorpion Spider. Could have had a better name, like fucking Brown Recluse, like whatever.
Right? Yeah.
Black Widow. But he was going to have, with the 8 legs of the spider, he was going to have 8 blades. It was going to be 2 hooked blades, 2 straight blades. I think they said like 3 blades that he would spin in his fingers, and then 1 hidden blade.
Jesus Christ. With the amount of work, like Ed Boon was talking about how much work they had to put in with the fucking Collector in terms of just how they had to make like a whole human rig for him. Like, I can't imagine what they were trying to do. Like, he has 8 blades and he can fly. And you're like, okay, easy, easy.
He can fly.
Like, okay, easy.
And he wins.
The hardest thing about making Collector was the technical challenges. These additional arms that are on this backpack were a design and technology nightmare.
I can't say much for his playstyle, but story-wise, he's fun. He's dynamic. I like him.
Okay.
He's
All right.
You're 19.
That's a solid pick. I'll take it.
Thank you. He's my only Mortal Kombat X person
Oh, that's a
that
shame.
I could fathom.
Okay, well, my number 19, Melina. I remember as a kid, whenever we go to the arcades, because we had the arcade at the Century Theaters, and it was all these little things, but in the background, you'd have the Mortal Kombat arcade machines, and they'd always have, like, the demo mode playing, where you'd see these, like, impossible combos going on, and, like, fatalities, and Melina was the one that, like, kind of, it wasn't like she scared me, but she was just like, I was like, oh, like, I don't know how to, like, I'm never gonna master this, but, like, that was, I don't know, so, yeah, Melina, and I dig the whole, because she's also Terracotta Warrior, right?
Tarkata.
Right.
She's partially Tarkata, so it's a weird lore
She's
thing.
the
where
stepdaughter with Shao Kahn, right?
basically, just as a failsafe, Shao Kahn was like, hey,
Right.
Shang Tsung, make another katana. He's
That
like,
was it.
I can do you that, but the face is fucked.
It's like,
And Shao Kahn's like, yeah.
you only paid for like 90% of this. I got some spare
I
parts.
can't guarantee the teeth. Which has fluctuated throughout the franchise, because I like Melina as well. She's definitely in my honorable mentions, especially with how she's gone through the lore.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like you said, just how fucking scary she was in the demo.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just like, she was the first one besides Scorpion with the whole like skeleton face thing where I was just like, oh no, like, oh god. So, yeah. And I was like in puberty when that whole happened, so I was just like, is this what's gonna happen?
Am I? This is. Very nice.
Melina wins.
Is it my
Who's your 18?
my 18?
Yeah.
Okay. So my 18 is Shao Kahn. I was waiting for you to take a drink.
Uh-oh.
So for me, it was tough. I feel like I needed to put Shao Kahn on there because he's such he's a very pivotal, literally a very pivotal, important character. Obviously, very integral to the plot. He's the one that's just like Earth, need it. But so me putting him kind of lower on the list has a lot to do with Mortal Kombat 11. I feel like they kind of took the piss out of him a little bit. He felt very grunty, especially compared to Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. Where he was just a powerhouse.
Fair.
Like, with his voice. Because he was the narrator for Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. And in 3, he was always like the, round 1, fight.
Round 1.
But I can't erase it from my memories playing that game in the arcades. Whenever he would attack you, just that, so I give him like a spite downgrade in the list because because fuck you.
Shit. Well, now I gotta rethink this because now you just put something in my head too. Where you know what he did? You know what Mortal Kombat 11 did? They made him Lord Zed from the first Power Rangers movie, where Zed was this great, crazy, cool like king and conqueror fighter, and then in the fucking movie he's just married to Rita. Like,
Yeah,
that's all
yeah.
it was. Like in 11 he was just with Sindel, and you're like, oh okay, like I guess he's just the meat. It was Uma Thurman and Bane. That's all it was.
That was my one point, though, as far as 11 goes, that I did like.
No.
When they went into Aftermath, and it was, kind of the villain thing.
Oh, yeah.
I liked Shao Kahn and Sindel's bond.
Wife, I have missed you.
Why?
And he was just like, they were just like feeding, they were,
Yeah, but
getting
you're-
off each other's game, and it was
It's
cool.
two different characters now. You're right. It was, one was like,
I feel like there was,
Yeah.
boss level Shao Kahn.
and then married Shao Kahn.
And then after 3,
Yeah.
he was just kind of like,
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, like you go to him and Sindel's house and have some like lemonade and like, oh, is that a picture of you ripping somebody's skull up? Oh yeah, that was good old
Great
times.
times.
Oh my
Great
God.
times.
Yeah, we don't do that no more.
Scorpion, this quiche is to murder for. You might actually be the right person for the...
Jesus Christ! He's out cold!
who's your 18?
Shinnok. Speaking of just like
Really?
bosses, yeah, there
Alright.
you go.
Do you fear death?
When Shinnok was first announced for me, he was this looming thing, and I first got a glimpse of him with that Sub-Zero Anthologies game. Something about his abilities, and I know like Quan Chi had like the skeleton stuff, but Shinnok was just like I felt like he was like the big brother of that, and so
Yeah.
I don't know, like
And didn't have the showiness.
that. Yes, yeah,
He
yeah.
looked very unassuming given
He's like the-
everything that he...
Would he be like him and Quan Chi would be like the closest to like Hellraiser characters, right? Where they're just sort of they just stand there and just talk, I guess.
If he
Like
went there with Shinnok, he'd be on my list.
right? Yeah. If they had a little bit more of a
I still like that fucked up claymation, like, weird thing in Mortal Kombat Mythologies that you fight at the end.
yes
When he full on... They tried in Mortal Kombat X to make the corrupted Shinnok. Like, it was close, but it's like, well, he's still like a man action figure body, so...
right.
whatever.
Shinnok wins.
My 17 is Johnny Cage.
It's showtime.
He's, I don't know, it feels kind of low for a legacy character, but I appreciate what they've done with him. Like, the smarminess is annoying at points, but they fine-tuned it enough where he's tolerable.
So did you flip then? You didn't like him from before, but then because of how they story-wised him, he got better for you.
Really, if you look at it lore-wise before, he was nothing.
Yeah, he was
They
just a- yeah.
they told you, it's like, asshole actor.
Was 11 the only one where there was like, you're a god, it's fine, here's your story? Like,
I think it was X. They're like, you have
Okay.
Mediterranean ancestors, and you can shadow kick. And he's like, cool.
Was it Mediterranean?
Yeah, I believe so. Mark me if I'm wrong, but
And you'll make their salad incredibly.
I'm pretty sure, especially if we go into MK12 and it's going backwards,
Yeah.
he's probably got an ancestor that does the
His
kick.
fatality, the fatality in 11 though, where he's doing the uppercut and the cut, and like that's
I
incredible.
love it. I love that they incorporated his film stuff.
Yeah.
Even the other one where he rips him out and does the ventriloquist dummy thing. Hilarious.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
But Johnny Cage was the first character they developed. He was the original character in the first Mortal Kombat.
Before Liu? Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't
Because
know
their
that.
whole thing is they were super inspired by Jean-Claude Van Damme. And they wanted to license him.
Like Bloodsport, right? That's the
that's
thing. Right.
Yep.
That's right.
And they wanted to get him in there and kind of do the digitized thing. And Jean-Claude's like, no.
I want to be Guile. I want to go.
Which is funny,
I want
'cause-
I want to kick Bison's ass.
He played digitized Guile in
Yeah.
Street Fighter the movie, the game. Like, what the fuck?
Which was I was gonna jokingly on my list put Art Lean from the first
I
one.
was too.
I was gonna put Art, but you're talking about how they did the Street Fighter the movie video game. Why the fuck didn't they ever do that for Mortal Kombat? That
Mortal
would have
Kombat
been.
the movie, the game.
Oh, it would have been perfect. It's Art Lean and his fatality. He loses his soul to Shao Kahn.
He dies in his
His own
fatality.
fatality. He just gives his soul.
Look at the power of this man and what? That's power.
Sean, what would you guess Johnny Cage's original name would have been?
Marco Spitzgibbons.
You're very close. Michael Grimm.
Oh! I was there.
so close.
Michael Grimm?
Michael Grimm, yeah.
He sounds like a Twisted Metal character.
We had a Mr. Grimm, I mean.
That's probably, yeah, you're right. Michael Grimm. He fights for his family.
That's how he shows.
Michael Grimm.
I fight for the Grimm family.
This is how I drive. Michael Grimm.
That was my 17. What's your 17?
My 17.
Uh-oh.
My 17 was Reptile.
Your tone belies your words.
Yeah, you know what's funny, man, is I don't have any of the ninjas on here really, but I needed to have one because I felt like I needed to. And,
I felt obligated.
Yeah, and I remember in MK3, Reptile could go invisible, and I spammed the shit out of that to beat my little brother. I just beat the shit out of my little brother all the time with him, and he was so mad. Which, in hindsight, thinking about it, like, it was incredible that you had to play that way, too, because it made him invisible for you as well, so you had no idea what you were doing half the time, which is awesome. I thought I was, like, it's great, but, yeah, and then the movie, between all the stuff in there.
That song, though.
Yeah.
Tracy Lords, that song.
Yeah. Yeah.
My 16 is Rain.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we got ninjas for the 17 spot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And the thing is, it's like he started off as a joke character. It was like Purple Rain. Let's make a purple ninja. And, you know.
And he's a prince. What is he? The prince of?
He's a prince of Edenia.
Yeah. So
it all worked out in the funniest of ways. But I like when they start with really a palette swap ninja. Like pretty much everyone in Mortal Kombat 3, you've got Ermac, Noob, Saibot, or I guess some of them predate that, but like Ermac, Noob, Rain,
and then on
it's
the
just
flip,
like
Jade, Katana.
Yeah, and with the female ninjas, Jade, Katana,
Melina. Yeah.
But I like that they started with Rain and how they took him.
Yeah, they Prince of Persia'd his ass later on.
Basically,
it's pretty cool. He had that teleport kick, which was the best thing to spam.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally, if you just got in a good rhythm on that, it was like Shiva's like jumping attack.
Yeah, you were fucking set.
Yeah, all you had to do was that over and over.
It's funny you do the Prince of Persia thing because that's really what he was. It's like once they got to Armageddon, you had Taven and Dagon were like the children of destiny, and he was the one that was left out. He was like the bastard child, like the fuck.
Purple.
So it was neat that they, made their way from literally changing colors and giving him some story.
Fight back! Fight back!
Who's your 16?
My 16 is Blind Kenshi.
My ancestors ate
Kenshi. I love the concept of him. I thought he was really great, but you watch The Boys?
I'm not caught up.
Okay.
With when we're recording this, 3 is out. I have not watched 3.
Okay. Spoilers to anybody who hasn't watched it, but in season 2, you've seen season 2.
Oh, wait, 2?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen 2.
Yeah. In season 2 of The Boys, there's a scene.
Get out.
In season 2, Homelander shows up and they want to bring a new person into the Seven, and he's a blind guy. And then Homelander's like, "Oh, cool. And so what if I?" And he just completely destroys him.
He claps him on the ears.
Yeah, and so
if only you were around to tell the other combatants, all you gotta do is just like clap him on the ears.
Just gotta clap.
Brutality.
Rolling off of Blind Kenshi, my 15 is Kano.
He made your list.
But just to have like the resident dirtbag. And it's interesting to me that he started in Mortal Kombat 1, he was going to be a Chinese American immigrant.
What?
Yeah.
How did that? I would love to know how they were just like, nah, he's Australian.
It's the movie.
Whoa.
The movie did it. Everyone loved Trevor Goddard's performance in the first Mortal Kombat movie, where that kind of cemented what Kano was going to be. Because we didn't really start getting voice acting in Mortal Kombat. Gosh.
Until 4, really? Right?
Kano wasn't in 4. We had Jarek, who some may call the better Kano with the...
Yeah, he's my number 3.
Oh, good. But
Oh,
no, the way they
Cherry.
developed him, and he's always just a dirtbag. Like he's
Yeah.
he's a very consistent flatline character that he's just a scumbag thug.
You're right. I did like in 11 that he was the only character to just not be taken aback by it, where he was just like, "Oh, you're a handsome motherfucker."
Ah, nice!
Yeah.
Me from the past. You look good.
How about that? Over 50 and still a ripper.
And the beauty of the creation of it is like they literally just took one of those plastic, those like masks where it's just the blank face mask, cut a portion out, sprayed it silver, and stuck it on the guy's face.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I think
And he was the best
okay.
part of the movie.
You're okay. You're right.
No Harry Potter shit, all right?
Who's your 15?
My 15 is Garrus. I liked his mechanics. I liked the whole time distortion of him, and I like that he was menacing. I don't know, it was neat. Yeah, Garrus was just cool. I like his presence too.
And with all that, he was a tough one. He was close to my list too. I love how tragic he is.
Yeah.
Like, and he's so like ineffable about it. He's just like, I died. It's fine. I'll die again. Like.
I'm a fixed point in time.
Like, he's just so used to fucking dying. He's like, I just gotta do my job.
Yeah, so, Garrus. Good job.
Garrus.
All right, number 14. Who you got?
14. I have Smoke.
Where there is smoke, there is fire.
He's cool from start to finish because he shows up the first time in MK2.
Yeah, as
he's
the background.
secret.
Yeah,
and just like secretly as a ninja. Then we get him later in MK3 as the robot, and he's gone through so many iterations.
Yeah,
and so many designs.
Yeah, yeah.
I did see with Johnny Cage. Do you know Smoke's real name?
Johnny. Is it Johnny Cage?
It's not.
It's Smoke's real name. This is a trick. Yeah, I would say Smoke's real name is it a play on Ed Boon and Tobias? Okay, what's his real name?
His name is Tomas Verbada.
It's okay, it's something close. Tobias and whatever.
yeah, Tobias. So he was a wee child. They explained this in the 2011 game, where he was a young boy in Prague, the Czech Republic, and he was sacrificed. Yay! But they tried to sacrifice him, and he survived. So the god they were trying to sacrifice him to massacred everyone.
He's the god of robots, like smoke robots?
It's Enenra, which is, I guess, the god of smoke.
Enenra?
Enenra.
Oh.
But whether he's human, robot, like, however he's shown up, I wasn't, like, super about Deception, where it was, like, the Noob Smoke tag team.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That was a little...
Yeah, that was strange.
And his design there, that's the one thing about Smoke, I'd be like, I don't like that. Where he was the Smoke Ninja.
Yeah, that combo was, it reminded me, remember the Tekken Tag Tournament? Where you would have, it was Jun from Tekken 2, she came back as Unknown, and she had, like, that gloopiness with her.
And she had the wolf.
With the wolf.
The wolf
yeah,
rider.
that's how I, like, put that together with them.
Yeah.
I'm like, they just...
It's like, that happened, but...
Lazy bastards.
Okay. But yeah, Smoke's the shit. He blew up the world. He can blow up the world.
It's true.
That's his fucking fatality. He blows up everything.
Yeah.
He wins.
Yeah. And he can interrupt Liu Kang and Katana from making out. So that's, I mean,
it's true.
It's true. My 14, Cabal. Nah, I really okay. So Cabal, tiger hooks are my favorite weapons. I love tiger hooks. They're so cool. You got like the stabby parts of them. You got the hitting parts. You got the whole parts. And Cabal's design is amazing. The speed aspect of it's really great. I can't get over how much of a bro they made him in the fucking new movies and in like the games. It's just they destroyed my boy. It was because back in the day, when you played these games, right, the only character information you had, you get from the loading screens. It would have, like, their portrait come up.
Think I can help? This guy down there, complete fucking asshole. Answers to Kano. Yeah, he's the reason I live in an iron lung. He's a low-life.
But then they shattered all that. Shattered all that pretty quick.
More on that later.
Oh, I'm sorry that I cut you.
I'm already getting like My 13 is Goro.
You face death like a warrior.
He had to make it.
He did.
He's a fucking Mortal Kombat icon.
Yeah.
And similar to Shao Kahn, I feel like they kind of took the piss out of him as the years went on. The sub-bosses are also cool.
Yeah.
You got Goro, you got Kintaro, Motaro on
Did they
hand.
do any other besides those guys?
Moloch. Is he on your list?
Yeah, he's my number 3.
Ah, son of a bitch!
Yeah.
Disgusting.
But just fighting Goro and thinking of, you know, at Midway, like, it was just such a homegrown... They were doing this thing, like, filming everyone, like, fighting and digitizing people. I'm like, well, we need something. They made a fucking clay model of a four-armed beast, and it just became so iconic from there. Goro had to be there, especially when I was outweighing the other sub-boss. I'm like, it's Goro all the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because you said that. So my number 13 is actually is like a villain, and I guess later on, because we didn't have sub bosses, this might be, you bear with me, the kind of the sub bossy of the newer games. Devora. Devora is such a unique concept. I like that she's just like a swarm, and that she isn't anything, and I like that. And it's gross and gloopy and creepy, and I don't know. It's in terms of just creating something that was newer, that wasn't just like a dude in a hat with like a sword, you know? Like it was Devora really,
and she's very polarizing. Very polarizing, just with what she does to the lore, but But the fact that that's a good villain, right? Like if she. I feel like she does a little too much, in my personal opinions. Like,
true, yeah, no, and you're right about the whole lore thing, because it's like with the way that she's written in, it's just like you feel like you should like play Mortal Kombat 2 and see Devora around, and you're like, what the fuck?
Just in the back, like,
no, there's
that was her. She was there.
I mean, they've put Blaze in the fucking background in the old ones, you know. So it's like, Devora.
That fatality.
Oh, with the head. Like, it's amazing we thought of the same one.
That's that one.
Yeah,
that's
that one.
The other one's fine, but but that one.
That's the closest you'll get to the thing.
It really is, and it's so good.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Okay.
My 12's a little offbeat. My 12 is Serena.
Serena?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just because I think I want more. Like, I just want more. I mean, she's got a very interesting, like, setup. Like, because she showed up in Mortal Kombat Mythologies. She was one of the boss characters you fight as Sub-Zero at the time. She's one of Quan Chi's, like, demon mistresses.
Yeah.
And then she's the one that kind of harkens to Sub-Zero, and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then she dies.
Yeah, but she looked like she was like Mortal Kombat's version of Deadpool's
Domino.
Yeah.
Like design-wise, she had like the streak. She had the
right.
And it's really one of those where I would like to see what they would do with it. And I couldn't say the same for most of MK Deception's roster. Because I like the idea of redesigning or like reinvigorating old characters.
Right.
But she's one that's like, it's all on the plate there. It's like she's a former demon. She came back in Armageddon because they were like, oh, we did her once. Oh shit, let's bring her back.
But she didn't have anything that stood out, right?
Nothing in Armageddon had plot relevance other than everyone dies.
Yeah. Big fight in the temple.
Yeah, I put Serena there for the hope that maybe something cool will happen.
I like it.
If not her, I'll footnote like an Ashra, because she's pretty damn dope too. Being like a demon person.
Yeah, you're really throwing. Oh, that's awesome.
She was my 12. What is your?
My 12 is Jax.
Nice.
You know, Jax was the first character I think that was outside of Asian stories that had the strong arm ability.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like that's usually pertained to like the Asian mythologies of like the characters that like can just punch shit really hard. You got like, you know, the Ashura's Wrath characters, you got like the Goku's the Luffy, like, oh, you know, like that's like the whole mythos over there. But we don't have in the West like Man with the Iron Fist and stuff like that, like all these characters. But over here, our characters are usually like super fast, super strong, like Superman's and stuff. But we don't have just like the Fist of the North Star kind of guy, where I'm just gonna like punch you to shit, you know, like just bloody you up. And so Jax was like that dude.
If you haven't seen the Mortal Kombat live tour, one of the funniest things to ever watch, but Jax in that tour was played by Hakeem Alston, who played the monk in Mortal Kombat 1, who was like and fought Liu Kang.
The beach monk?
Yeah.
Beach monk!
He played Jax in the live tour.
That's amazing. Did he have the dreads too and everything?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, yeah.
Oh, that's
but he had little
Porter.
like trash bags on his arms to look like. I'll send you the picture.
Oh,
I'll send you the picture
and
so we can
hit
pop
it.
it in there and hit it. We're in like a weird loop with all these like new timelines. I guess in the original it was kind of like Annihilation, where he added the arms as
as
like
penance
support.
thing? Yeah,
and
sure.
now all of a sudden it's like, well, his arms have got to go. Just like Ermac blows him up.
The score. Do you see the
fucking Sub-Zero freezes him, blows him up.
Goro rips him off. I mean,
Goro rips him off.
I mean, there's this like. Did you? By the that's a hilarious in the movie, the newest one, that Scorpions thing. It's incredible. If you haven't watched it, it's. Goro rips off Jax's arms, and then like a second later, Raiden shows up and he's like, "Stop everything!" And you're like, "Raiden, kind of jumping." He's like, "What are you doing?"
Got some timing, buddy.
Yeah, holy fuck!
Stop.
Like he immediately, as soon as Jax's arms off, he's just like, "Whoa,
cut that out!"
Whoa, shit! Oh my god,
that draws the line. All right. My 11 is Shang Tsung.
It has begun.
I had to. Between the iconic status and I feel like we were a little spoiled with MK11 bringing back.
Well, he's on my
Kerry
list.
Hiroyuki
Especially
Tagawa
because of that.
yeah, like taking that same element. But I mean, even from the get-go, like he's always just been the bad guy in that same sense of like Big Trouble in Little China. He's just bad.
Yeah.
He just wants souls.
Yeah.
He wants to take over the world so he can get more souls. He's nefarious and not quite in the Quan Chi way. Like, that's the thing that pissed me off about Quan Chi is he was always the meddler. He was always
right,
like
yeah,
behind the scenes. But Shang Tsung was just like, no, Goro, boom, fight Goro.
It's true, and he wasn't. Especially like in 11 too. They never made a thing where they were like, "We can't trust you, Sorcerer." It's like, you can't.
Like he's like, "No, you can't."
Straight up,
I have an island, but you're here. That was your choice.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. He was 100, and he's the first one I got to remember that like did that shit.
Took souls
yeah,
out.
Like swallowed souls and used them and stuff.
He's about to get his soul sucked. Fatality for Kung Lao. But, I mean, even with that, like, he started as the boss. And then in 2 and 3 and onwards, he was a playable character.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool seeing this, like, oh, this is the guy I beat last time in Mortal Kombat 2. He's ready to go with his little hat and his little vest. And in 3 with his fucking war paint.
his little Aladdin vest in number 2. No, but I remember he was the first character I ever played in a fighting video game where I couldn't button mash. Every other character you can kind of get through, like, knowing one move. Like, if you could get Sub-Zero's freeze, or, you know, if you can, like, time uppercuts right. Yeah. But Shang Tsung was the only one where I'm like, unless you fucking know how to use him, like, you can't just pretend.
You gotta be so specific, because it's like, okay, I did the Soul Steal move.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I'm a new person now.
Oh my god, I don't know how to play any of these
All of a sudden, I'm Curtis Stryker. What do I do?
Finish him.
Don't you dare. He's my number 1, Curtis Stryker.
the high defense.
You see he's blinking in and out? That's that one frame of that sweep that I was talking about. And that's why it works.
I love how they threw, like, they even knew back in the day that Stryker was such a shit character that he was a throwaway line in, like, the second movie. They were like, we've captured Earth's warriors, Curtis Stryker and Cabal.
And Cabal.
They were like, oh no. Oh. My 11 is meat.
Meat?
Yeah, meat.
You put meat that high?
I put meat that high. He was just an extra person that they could throw in there, and they were like, whatever.
He was an asset.
Yeah.
Do you prefer, personally, do you prefer Mortal Kombat 4 meat or Armageddon meat?
Oh, man.
Armageddon meat's the one with the little, like, brown
Yeah, no, 4 meats had... Because 4's meat was drippy and, like...
He was just like the skinny little skeleton with the little bones.
He was just flayed. Like, he was just... Yeah.
He was hilarious.
But no, meat. I have no other reason for it.
His Armageddon ending is hilarious.
What happened with his Armageddon ending?
He just wanders off into obscurity.
As the other combatants fought, Meat rushed unseen to the top of the pyramid and defeated Blaze. Godlike energy enveloped him, giving him the power to shapeshift. With the ability to become anyone, Meat lost his sense of identity and disappeared into obscurity.
Ta-da! You get to the top of the pyramid, you're just literally probably in constant agonizing pain, and you beat this fucking fire guy with your muscly hands. And you win, you get the constant power, and you're just like,
well, it's like a Twisted Metal, like, 3
That's some
ending.
Calypso shit, and they just like twisted on you.
Your wish is granted.
You watch Venture Brothers? They have a character in Venture Brothers where they go up into space and they're parroting. They're parroting.
Parroting.
Yeah, parroting. They've got they're making fun of the Fantastic Four. They've got like a person who's the Thing, but he's just really slow but he's really bulky. You got one guy. The only character who's like got really good powers is the Mr. Fantastic one. The lady who can go invisible. She goes only her skin can go invisible, so she gets really horrifying. But the guy who plays the Human Torch, his problem is whenever oxygen touches his skin, he catches on fire, and it's just painful. And so they keep him in like this like sealed tube, and so when they let him out, it's just So, but the way they draw him and the way he's running, it's just meat. It literally is just meat. So
he made it to your list. So I mean,
he did.
Next game,
he did. Yeah,
meat for DLC.
Yeah, I don't know why.
DLC me some meat.
He's the only joke one I have on there, and he's 11. So.
He wasn't mocap.
He beat Aaron Black, so... Alright, we did it. Number 10.
Number 10. It's a repeat of yours. My 10 is Reptile.
Okay. Alright, I feel like we're gonna start repeating now. We're gonna get to it.
We're gonna start, like, bleeding over a little bit.
Alright.
Bleeding. Mortal Kombat. But, no, Reptile's a dope character.
Yeah.
I know he's got a pretty tight fandom. I'm not quite there. I like Reptile a lot. He's fun. But, unfortunately, just lore-wise, it's kind of like Baraka.
Yeah.
He kept getting pushed into the same, I need to save my people.
Yeah.
And...
What game was it where he was just a full lizard?
That was Deadly Alliance.
Yeah, where I was just like, I don't want to play Soul Calibur. Like, this is crazy.
Lizard man. No, basically. But I like when they do him right.
Yeah.
Again, it's a divided camp, but I liked in Shaolin Monks where he had the black wraps and he was Lizard Ninja.
Yeah.
That was cool. And how he looked in Mortal Kombat X was kind of similar. I'm not sure how I feel about the mask that matches his lizard mouth.
I don't know about that.
I'm a little iffy on that, but
it's a shame that, like, out of all of the... What? You know what? I'm sorry?
What's a shame?
No. You know what? You know?
Friendship.
I didn't know. Come on.
Again?
Oh, just, pretty much he's Onaga.
That's what, yeah, no, and that's what kind of killed it for me, too, is that I hate when franchises or stories... They make a legacy character, something that they just never intended to do, and they had no plan for it.
Yeah.
I would be totally fine with it if, like, in Mortal Kombat 3 we had some sort of reference that, like, Onaga was a thing, but...
You could have been in Chameleon, or Chameleon.
Chameleon? Why the fuck not? Like,
Two different characters. It could have been... They're also Reptoid, like, you know.
Drives me nuts.
I don't know. And you had mentioned the invisibility thing. I think one of his fatalities in the 2011 version, where it's just Mortal Kombat. It's Mortal Kombat 9, But yeah, he, like, does the force ball thing, and does this crazy, like, after being invisible, like, puts him in and...
Oh, yeah.
It's cool, because it, you know,
yeah.
took a nod to his invisibility and the force ball.
I loved his fatality in the early games, where you segment them, where his tongue comes off. And
that was 3.
Yeah.
Where it was like head, torso, legs.
Yeah, that shit was
and they
great.
scream every time. Their feet scream.
Everybody had like 30 torsos, like 80 rib cages.
Anytime anyone explodes, you have like 50,000 rib cages.
That's the only way you're supposed to compete in the tournaments. When you do your physical.
How many rib cages do you have?
4. He's in.
4.
16
Perfect.
16 femurs. That's why they can do all those X-ray attacks and not like die. Is because they're only.
You just got a new one.
Yeah. It's like shark teeth. Yeah.
But I'd like Reptile to have a little more guff in the story. But
yeah,
we'll have him.
Yeah.
But he's my 10. What's your 10?
My 10 is Scarlet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, Scarlet was, I enjoyed the idea of having, like, a blood character.
Mm.
And it's funny, out of, like, a series that's known for just being bloody and violent, you would assume that they would have had, like, a blood manipulation character earlier. Like, Ermac was on my list before, but she replaced Ermac.
She was in my Shao Kahn spot.
Okay, alright.
I had her on there because she was a rumored character. There's like Scarlet, the Red Ninja.
She was the girl Ermac, right?
It was never confirmed until Mortal Kombat 2011 that happened. And they had her as like the DLC. And that was a very different character. I guess they kind of retconned her plot a little bit. Originally, she was like a Melina type. Where it's like Shang Tsung or Shao Kahn made her in the labs or whatever.
Yeah.
And once we came to 11, she was some kind of orphan on the streets. And Shao Kahn's like, hey, you like blood? And she's like, yes, sir, please just feed me. And
you got blood.
Wherever she comes from, she's a cool character. And
yeah,
I dig it.
Okay, what was your number 9? What do you got?
Let's see. My number 9.
Whoa!
He did make my list, so good on you for doing it.
You know,
yeah.
I wouldn't have if it wasn't for the newer games. Because he's, in my opinion, like he's kind of boring. He's a protagonist. He's kind of boring. He's pure until he wasn't. Even in the old, let's just say like the old timeline. I mean, he was just doing his Liu Kang thing in Deadly Alliance. Shang Tsung just just fucking nerfed him.
Can you think of another franchise that's just done that besides Metal Gear Solid 2? But even then, they brought back Snake. You know,
yeah,
it's just like I can't think of another franchise where they were like. Can you imagine if like Crash Bandicoot 3 opened and then like Cortex was just whoa! Like, holy shit!
Crash is gone, everybody.
Yeah. Welcome to Coco's game. You're like, what the fuck? Like, holy shit! But
and then even with that like weird storyline, because it was like Liu Kang Soul and Zombie Liu Kang.
That was great. Hey, yo, come on! At the opening cinematics Armageddon when he shows up with the chain. Oh, that was a
against Shang Tsung. Like,
that was a jaw dropper though. That was cool.
But they, with the newer franchise, I like the conflict with him and Raiden. Like, he's always been the trusting pupil, where it's like, yes, Master Raiden, yes, this is what we must do.
Yeah.
Until it comes to the very end, and that's what gets him killed again in a new timeline. And I really dig the timeline shift, where it's like, how many timelines has this happened where Liu Kang and Raiden...
Yeah. My hair.
Here they go again.
My hair stood up, man. I didn't have anybody to prove. I was by myself playing 11, and when that sequence happened, I like looked around, like, oh, it's like the subway in 3.
It's the Deadpool from 2.
Oh, yeah, that sequence was amazing because
it was cool seeing his normal composure, kind of like spit upon. Where he's the king of the Netherrealm. I wish they explored it a little more.
Yeah,
but, him just being like that.
But no, it's true. And, like, Liu Kang is definitely, I think, in terms of, like, pantheon of just main staple hero characters, he's there. You're right.
Test your might.
Wow, you're pretty good at this.
Liu Kang wins.
9.
My number 9 is actually the guy he beat that nobody thought he could beat in number 1, which is Prince Goro.
Goro!
Yeah! Goro! Yeah. That shit's, Prince fucking Goro of Mortal Kombat was the first, and I think only character. Okay, so fucking Goro was the only character that made this feel supernatural. Goro, when you saw him in the first Mortal Kombat or anything else, where you're just like, we're outside of the realm of regular. I mean, forearms, this is the uncanniness of it made it seem like something different, and Goro really changed everything. Plus, I mean, the movie version that's when you had practical puppets, and it was just, I mean, fuck. I want to hit that thing in the balls.
Those are $500 sunglasses, asshole.
Goro decided he wanted to pay tribute with the egg as well.
So my number 8 is... it's funny, that's right after Liu Kang, is Kung Lao. I mean, really, when you look at him, dope character.
Oh,
like, his design is super sweet.
Yeah, he's slick.
They really honed in on him being arrogant, like, I just want to be Liu Kang.
Yeah, it's like it's that jealousy mixed with the whole like I'm a monk and I must do things for the White Lotus, and you're like, all right, whatever, cool, all right, neat.
That's my thing.
Yeah,
really, like,
okay, that's fair.
The style is the only thing that puts me like having him above Liu Kang, because with the hat and just the look, and I even think about like MK2, MK3, just the having the hat and the he was hella cool, and that's before they fucked him up. But I'm just so sorry that everyone keeps killing him. The movie, the animated movie, the games, like everyone just keeps killing Kung Lao.
He's like Hulk in the MCU. Like
they keep switching him out.
Yeah, just like the Hulk should be a lot stronger than all of this, right? But he's just a bitch, and so like when you watch these movies and you're like, Kung Lao probably should be able to kick. Like he won the tournament. Like what are you doing, you assholes? Like all right,
well said.
Whatever.
Well said.
Whatever. Yeah.
Well, if you're getting back to it, who's your 8?
My number 8 is Motaro. Yeah, for the same thing, Mortal Kombat 3, I was petrified. Or no, he was 2. He was
3, you're right.
No,
Kentaro was 2.
2, right, sorry. No, and it's funny because 2, I never really managed to get to the end of the game a lot. I was so young that I never managed to, like, get to Kentaro.
Get that far.
Yeah. So I never got to have the fear. Motaro was the first character that I could get to and just not win against. Because I just felt like it was ridiculous. Because not only was he half the fucking screen, but he teleported. It was some bullshit.
And had projectiles.
Yeah, it was some absolute bullshit. Like, I don't understand how anybody was supposed to actually do it. But I thought it was great in terms of just having a centaur in a fucking fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and Jake and I, when we were kids, we would go to this fighting website called Fighters Generation. Was it fightinggamegen.com?
I think it's GameGen.com, but it was Fighters Generation.
Right, and it was this database of every fighting game, right? Of just this everything from all these obscure Japanese
all
ones.
The sprites.
Stuff. Yeah.
He would review characters based on his.
We would spend days just going through this just all of them, just looking at character stuff from games we didn't know, and mainly like you would get characters like that were like plant-based or animal-based, but they were really humanoid. And Motaro was the only one that was just like, nah, we're gonna fucking break the game to try to put this character in it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Motaro.
I hope he gets another time to shine, because Armageddon, they were like, it's the main complaint with
I'll never
Motaro.
forget.
It's like, well, it's really tough to program horse legs in 3D. Which I'm not a 3D programmer, so it's like, okay, I got you, but
they were lazy. If they could, if they could bump the lamp in fucking Roger Rabbit, they can fucking program Motaro.
Give me my Motaro.
What are you doing? Give me my Motaro. That sounds like a 90s commercial that never happened, right?
Hey, kids. Need my Motaro.
What? Like the zoom in on the mom. What? Then they all turn into Capri Sun.
Oh no.
Go long. Whoa!
No, I got a full team.
So my number 7 actually matches someone on your list. Kenshi.
You're a scoundrel.
Who was blind Kenshi when he first debuted in the
He's not
concept?
blind anymore?
Well, no, he's still blind.
Oh.
But literally, when they were putting him in the game at first, his name was Blind Kenshi, and they just changed it to Kenshi.
Okay.
They were just like, well, he's blind. I guess we don't have to let everyone know.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
He definitely piqued my interest in Tai Chi. I liked his... I don't know, I just like his whole vibe.
Yeah.
I dig that he was a... Because with Deadly Alliance, it was after 4. They did, the time jump. It was like, this is the new generation, sort of. It was less than Mortal Kombat X, but he was kind of like the new Ermac, sort of.
True.
Because he was the telekinetic guy.
Yeah.
And I liked him a lot.
Yeah, no, I loved the fact that he was the only character that didn't look at the other characters when he fought. He was just facing the camera.
And if there's ever a fatality where, in the old PS2 games, if eyes popped out, nothing. So apparently he's blind because he has no eyeballs. But I give Kenshi mine. He's honestly the only new character from Deadly Alliance that I really liked.
Yeah.
Because who else do we have? Mavado,
Moloch. It's hilarious. My number 7 is Havoc. I really have to justify putting him on my list here.
We can do a joint one because he's my next guy.
Okay, there we go. Oh, so he's your number 6? Okay, dude, Havoc is incredible. Havoc, I think, is just the spirit of what Mortal Kombat is supposed to be, right? Because it's like he twists his head to fucking attack. It's like he was incredible. To hurt his own self to attack people was incredible. And I think he's the only character from the Chaos Realm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only playable character we ever got from Chaos Realm, which
it's perfect.
has been pretty much unexplored. There was touches on it in MK11 with Joker. He's not from there, but no, he goes there because he's like, that's my kind of place.
So then if we're going to joint right into 6 then, so...
Yeah, mine's Havoc as well.
Tell me, like...
He's just so fun, and it's crazy how this shit works out, because he was a scrapped design for Noob Saibot.
Was he?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Like, with him, with the hooded design and the stripped flesh and the skull mouth.
That makes a lot of
That
sense.
was a Noob Saibot concept. But what a character they made. And
he has him with accents, right?
No.
That's a shame.
He showed up in, and I have not read them exclusively, like, start to finish, but the Mortal Kombat X comics,
okay,
he was a pivotal antagonist. Like, Havoc fucked some shit up. This was the kind of Havoc, like, you and I would want.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
right.
he fucked some shit up. He was causing some trouble.
Dope. It's funny because you're talking about the comics. It's like, that's why Goro was so much higher on my list, too, is because he was lower, but I had in the 90s, they had a Prince of... it's called the Prince of Outworld comics.
Yeah.
It was Goro, and I had a couple of those, and it was like, you got to go into his whole thing, but that's awesome. I didn't know Havoc he was like the main antagonist for the thing. That's really cool.
He was a big bully for a little bit there.
Shit, dude. Yeah, and really, what a great... I think in terms of... When I think of chaos, they did a great job of just making it chaotic.
Even just the simplest thing, like his projectile attack, he would bend his knees backwards to shoot to shoot a low projectile. That was great.
It was unlike anything else. So yeah,
I'd love to see what.
Cool.
They would do with
well, shit. We're almost there. Fuck.
We were just one off.
Yeah.
So
damn.
Who's your
my 6?
Your 6.
My 6 is Fujin.
I debated. I wanted him on my list so bad.
He beat. So the only reason Fujin is that high up on my list is in the later games he's great. He's a great fighter. I love playing with him. He's quick. He's agile. I love his like foil to Raiden's like tenacity. Why he's on there is because of the Sub-Zero games. He was such a like mystery.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked Fujin's design and just his like who he was, and he felt like you know how when you would play Tekken 2 and because later in like the later video games, all of the secret characters were just on the list.
Yeah.
Like you could go through and like whenever you play like a video game, like you would see the roster and like the question marks and see like, oh, I have to unlock these guys. But Tekken 2 didn't have that. Tekken 2 just had the bar and you had to go past the bar and keep finding people. And like that's where I put Fuge into my head, where he's just like that secret off the bar character, and like that's where he's in. So that's why, yeah. So,
Hell yeah,
yeah. That's where he is. Cool. All right. All right. Top 5. We're there. Then we're getting top 5.
Top 5.
Holy shit!
Whoa. Top 5.
Top 5.
Fuck!
My number 5 is
Drama.
Ermac.
Oh.
No, not Drama.
We sense the deadly sword.
Literally devised from Error Macro, and people are like, Ermac, that's a character.
Is that? Oh no.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Ermac means Error Macro. And it happened at the arcades, and Ed Boon's like, we got a character here. We got a character on our hands.
That's awesome. I love that.
So, given, like, you know, such cute little beginnings, and what he is, he's just a collection of souls. He's not one person. Like, Ermac is a whole lot of people. And based on the lore, it's Katana's dad is in there. Like, who the fuck knows who is in Ermac? Like,
that is really no. It's and he was the only part of the movie, the second movie, that was like done justice, I suppose. Him, Rain, Noom Saibot, they were all represented very
he
well.
was in it, but he was there. he was present.
He was in it. Fuck.
And I think that's what hooked me as a kid. Is like, I think telekinesis is just cool. I would like to have telekinesis. Sue me, but just him.
Solid pick. You know what's cool? He didn't suffer a lot of the nonsense with the redesigns later. Like he just got some raps. But
I liked where they went with it.
Yeah.
I did not quite like his deception thing because it just kind of looked like he was in pajamas. Just very poofy ninja outfit.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's not very privy for a ninja. But when he came back, honestly, in MKX, he was kind of like a weird mummy type character.
Yeah, with the that was,
he was like a weird spindly guy, and
him and like Reptile had almost like the same look.
Oh shit!
Like they had like that rap thing going on, but Ermac was the one where I was like, well, this is justified. Like you see, like his
I'm trying to keep all these souls in here,
yeah,
buddy. Like, how many souls you got, Reptile? And he's like, I'm a dragon.
You're like, all right, cool.
That's my fight.
My number 5, Shao Kahn. He's iconic. I mean, like, in terms of just his look, the hammer, I don't know. It was
iconic. No, definitely.
It was very iconic. Yeah, like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I had genuine fear if I ever got to him, you know? Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever beaten Shao Kahn in the older games, so.
He's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that was. And it's like, so. Maybe to the younger audiences, if anybody's watching this, I don't know, but so games now, they're really designed to just take home, right? Like you can continue. They're designed to just make sure that you beat the game. But back then, they just wanted your money. They wanted fucking money from you. So they made these things periodically harder. So Shao Kahn, if you were to get to him, unless you were incredibly good, it was just designed to just take quarters from you, to just keep trying. Mm-hmm. And so he was hard as fuck. I don't know. But no, he was great.
Terrible.
Yeah.
He would even tell you. He's like, you suck.
Yeah, he was.
You suck.
Feel the wrath of Shao Kahn. Is that your best?
If it makes you feel any better, I think Brian Glenn, the guy who portrayed Shao Kahn, if he wasn't, well, I mean, our heights are. He was probably between our height. They just,
the guy who played Buffalo Bill in Joe Dirt.
But the actual Shao Kahn actor, if you see him behind the scenes, he's just like chilling with Sindel. It's like, oh, you're a normal man.
Oh, you mean
you're
the actor
not
in the game,
9 feet tall.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
You will die, mortal.
Oh, all right. Enough, you broken record. Okay.
Okay, number 4. Let's do it.
My number 4 is Sub-Zero.
Nice.
I mean, classic. It's kind of tough not to, but yeah, Sub-Zero. He's
great.
He's the face of the franchise. Sub-Zero moving forward after 2 onwards.
Yeah.
Some weird shit. A lot of weird shit happened to this guy, but just conceptually as a character, I mean, where they started out, it was just like, well, we want 2 ninjas. They don't like each other. And here's one with ice. and still cool. Like,
Now I think we're just getting into like just the iconic characters. We're getting into characters that have shaped not only us but our society. I think Sub-Zero always had the most versatile moves. I think out of the two. Yeah, because you could freeze the ground, make him slip. You can freeze them. You can make the clone of himself. There was always this shit that you could do. And and then he stopped Smoke from interrupting the kiss between Liu Kang and Kitana. So.
Is that little fly move?
Yeah, where he's got like his legs wrapped on like the little like he made like it's great. Like if you watch it again, like he's just like slowly like woo, like it's great.
Put it in the edit if I'm wrong, but I think that's the guy that played Reptile in the first movie. I might be wrong.
About to find out.
I heard it from my friend. My friend is the uncle of Mortal Kombat, so.
Flawless victory.
Who's your 4?
My number 4 is Kung Lao. Nice. Yeah. Kung Lao is my number 4. I know he was on your list too, for the same reason. But you're right. They made him such a bitch later on. But regardless of that, in terms of like what he represents, I think he's my number 4.
That's my only bummer. Is just they leaned too hard into the arrogance.
Yeah, and
like that was his whole character, and it's like, well, I'm not Liu Kang.
It's like the whole like when you get into like a show that doesn't have the ending planned out, where you like character sacrifice. Because you're right, like Kung Lao now is just pretty much like he's just there to show how good Liu Kang is.
And he's the guy that dies that gives Liu Kang a reason to...
Right, yeah, that's all it is. You're right.
It's a bummer. He's a lot better than that. We love you, Kung Lao.
But he was the first character I actually managed to get...
Thank you, Kung Lao.
Thanks, Kung Lao. But he was the only character I managed to get my teleport move first done, like when I could just like whack people. So maybe that's also like in my head.
Shout out for that fucking fatality where he like
cuts
whips the hat and drags them groin first, like into the hat.
Oh yeah, with the kill saw, like he throws them on the ground.
The kill saw.
Yeah,
activate the kill saw.
The other one I like too is when he cuts the person in half, splits them, and then all the heads fall, and he splits it. Yeah, you're like, all right, that's
even MK2. Like he was the one that just.
Oh yeah, MK. Yeah, because everybody else had like flare, and his was just like, bah, you're in half. Yeah, and then he put it on. It was
bat, you're in half.
Yeah, you're in half. Yeah,
I'm gonna put my hat back on.
That's how you do it. Okay, top 3. Let's do it.
Top 3. So following my Sub-Zero is Scorpion. I do like me some Scorpion.
He's again iconic.
Mm-hmm.
When would you say Scorpion like burned into you?
I think oddly enough it's the weird, and it's like a lame fatality, but the weird MK3 fatality where a bunch of scorpions jump in the room and it's just like that little sound and it just fades to black.
It fades to black, right? Yeah.
For some reason I'm like and then like I don't know, I dig his ever-present redemption angle.
He's got a lot of representation in
I
this
like
series.
they have the creator love too. It's like whenever it's the get over here, that's it, boom. And I dig that.
That is true.
Oh my god, could we hear it quickly?
Get over here!
Oh my god, that was awesome!
No, he's just I mean, he's right there from the start. I don't think they ever planned for him to be what he was, but I'm down for it.
Scorpion. Good shit though.
This week on Cooking with Scorpion, learn about chopping, tenderizing, chopping, cake decorating, and chopping.
Who's your 3?
My number 3, Noob Saibot.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Noob Saibot.
He's my number 2.
So we're mad. Oh, almost, man. Yeah,
Almost there.
Noob Saibot. He's I don't know what else to say except he's just incredible. He's literally that shadow ninja character that you just draw on your binder when you're like a kid and you're like, yeah, I wonder. He's that. He's literally that. And then what's great is that he not only started off as like a secret throwaway character that you could just find and then play as, but then literally the story that they retconned him to, it got better and better and better. He's Bihan, he's the first Sub-Zero, and then it just, I don't know, everything about him just kept getting cooler and cooler. They gave him a sickle later on, and you're like, fuck, stop. He's like Gloopy Shadows. Whoa. Like,
yeah, he's my number 2. He's just, like you said, a really, really fucking cool retrofit of just kind of a blank palette swap.
Yeah.
They were just like, we need a black ninja. Then like, what if he was Sub-Zero? The old one, because he's dead now. Oh! I wish they'd just dive in more... I don't know. These days, he's still really cool aesthetically.
Yeah.
But plot-wise, he doesn't have much to do.
He's kind of done though, right? I mean, he's just Bihan. Like, Bihan's just a trapped soul. Like, I'm with you. Like, I would love to know more. Like,
if we're gonna jump into Mortal Kombat 11, because where it ends, like Scorpion or Hanzo Hasashi is finally coming to terms. He's like, I'm my own man. I don't need to live by vengeance. Noob Saibot should have been the one to kill him.
That would have been great.
Not Devora. I know Devora was on your list, but Noob Saibot was the one who should have.
Absolutely, yeah. No, and I completely. You know what's funny is my brain completely blinked out that he died at the end there. It was such bullshit.
And then young Scorpion from MK2 was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. No, why wasn't it Noob? That's so silly. Yeah, it should have been Noob.
Because other than that, he was just kind of like running around in the caves with Jax and his daughter, like. And okay, that's my beef. He's my number 2 spot. I love Noob Saibot, but the Dr. Claw voice.
Still trading on my name. A name you forsook long ago. Next time, Gadget.
In terms of like, I think Havik to me is like the spirit of Mortal Kombat, but Noob Saibot is like the moral of Mortal Kombat. It's like, well, Noob Saibot is where ultimately all of this fucking ends up. Yeah. Everybody's soul is just trashed and horrified and is fighting for nothing, and you're like, all right, like he's he's the moral of it.
Finish him.
And who's your number 1 there? What do you got?
Well, who's your number 2?
Oh shit, my number 2.
My 2 matched your 3.
That's true. Sorry, my number 2, Shang Tsung. For everything that we talked about, everything that we mentioned, Shang Tsung is just it. He's everything you want for a villain. He's the first person that I think like does sleight of hand with words. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and like his actions, it's so nuts. Yeah. Was it MK11? There's a quick fight sequence where they bust into the room and they're fighting all the robots, and he puts his arms behind his back and he does this like little dodge thing while he's smirking, and then he like palms him. I was just like, he's the guy that's just like, I've got a plan and I'm gonna win.
That's what I love, and because unless he's your number 1, like we haven't mentioned Quan Chi. No. Oh no. Like, I feel like Quan Chi was supposed to be the new Shang Tsung, and it just never worked. He always felt too meddling to me, because I dig between Mythologies and 4, and even leading into Deadly Alliance, I liked that it was something, but it became too much, where all he did was meddle, and he was the cause for everything.
And Mad Max hasn't helped anything either, you know? Witness me! Like, it's very much like, Quan Chi's just one of the war boys. Just like, all right.
He's like right under the fucking guy.
You're like, all right, okay, cool. My number 1 is Smoke. For everything you said, hilariously enough, it's because of his iterations, right? Because in number 2, he was just a palette swap ninja with some smoke effects, right? And then he's a cyborg, and then he's a cyborg ninja, and then he's both, and then what? And like, it's just, I don't know. He's incredible. I think he's really cool because he kind of covers all of it. So yeah,
it was neat. MK 2011, like MK9 or whatever.
Yeah,
it was neat to explore that path for him, where Sub-Zero gets robotized or cyberized instead of him, so he gets to be like a ninja for a little longer. But sad that turned into nothing.
Okay, who's your number one, sir?
You know my number one.
I know.
We've been friends for so long.
I know your number one.
You know my number one is...
I know your number one.
Cabal. Something about that character just...
Yeah.
When I was a kid at the arcade, and I looked at the select screen, I'm like, alright, ninjas and everybody else. But I see this fucking weirdo in the corner, and that just jumped out to me right from the get-go.
Yeah.
From like a kid's standpoint, it's like Darth Vader, but moving like the Flash.
True,
like,
yeah, it's Darth Vader with like Kraven, like from Spider-Man's outfit. But then,
as much as I love Cabal, like he started as like an anti-hero. He was a thug who Raiden showed up. He's like, "Hey, you can do better," and he's like, "Okay." So he did that, and then they're like, "Nah, never mind. We'll just kill him," but not kill him. And Havoc will be like, "Yeah, be bad." So he's like, "Yeah, I'll be bad." So he was bad for a while, and then Armageddon cut that off. And then Mortal Kombat 2011 happened. It's like, okay, he's Stryker's partner. He's a cop.
Right,
He's an anti-hero.
Okay.
He was Black Dragon with Kano, and then became a cop with Stryker. And then, got Kintaro'd, got burned. Oh. And then all of a sudden, it's like, in between this Revenant period where he's been dead, they were just like, no. New backstory. He was bad the whole time. I'm not a fan of where they were taking him with the story, but
I'm a fan of his design.
I will still always be a fan and hope that you can do him better.
Yeah.
Another realm.
Well, shit.
Fight. Flawless victory.
Well, shit. well, there you go. That's our top 20 Mortal Kombat characters. Happy birthday, Mortal Kombat. You did us well. I mean, thank you for pretty much making our society what it is.
In 1992, Mortal Kombat changed the world of video gaming forever.
We now require warning labels on toys that can potentially damage children's bodies. Why not do so on a toy that can damage their minds?
Barry Rhodes bought the game anyway.
It's there, so I'm not going to try to hide my daughter from that.
How do you feel about cutting his head off?
Game makers admit ratings won't work unless stores and arcades enforce the new rules.
I think I saw something.
How would you like to have a teenage daughter go out on a date with someone who's just watched or played 3 hours of that game?
Kids are saying chill out to worry parents.
I think TV personally influences more than a video game. A video game is a video game.
Red Ball wins.
You're dead.
Critics, including the National PTA, say such video games contribute to violence in real life.
Understand that these are not harmless toys, that they can indeed cause great emotional and other damage to a child.
Whoa! No one believes I beat the last level of Mortal Kombat.
Because that's just ridiculous. No one beats Sub-Zero.
Yeah. Oh man.
Thanks, Kung Lao.
Who's your favorite character, Ryan?
Jesus.
Oh.
He didn't have. He had the worst fatality.
He doesn't even do a fatality.
Yeah.
He brings them back to life.
He crucifies himself. It's terrible.
Harakiri.
Round one. Fight. Yeah. Yeah. Punishment fist. Punch.
Amen.
Yeah, so Mortal Kombat.
Who's your least favorite?
My least favorite character would probably have to be Shiva.
Really?
Yeah, she's boring. Her stomp move is the only thing that you use. So who's your least favorite? Who would you say?
Darius. Darius or Cobra?
Well, fuck those guys. They don't even count. Like, I didn't put them on.
I didn't even think of those guys.
Bo Ride Show, right? Like, I mean, like, obviously. Like, wait a minute. I completely forgot all of those guys.
Man down. Yeah, anyone from Deception is pretty rough. Cobra, Darius. But anyway.
Ryan, who's your least favorite character?
Jesus? Listen here. You used him before for your favorite. Who's your least favorite?
Who's your least favorite?
Okay. That's a fair answer.
That's actually, he did suck.